Hello students, this video is regarding a very important subject auditing which is usually taught in BCom semester in third year sections. In this video we will talk about a very important segment of auditing which is named as frauds. Friends, the full name of this topic is frauds and classifications of frauds. Can auditor prevent frauds and errors? Can auditor prevents errors and fraud? In this video we will talk about that what is the fraud is being talked of in auditing and what are the classifications of fraud could be done as far as the auditing is been concerned, and whether an auditor is eligible or capable to prevent these frauds and errors. So we will talk in these things in this video. So let's start this video. So first of all, before starting, we should know that what does the fraud means. Fraud means false representation. This word is very important. False representation. Fraud means false representation or entry made intentionally. मतलब intentionally. It means knowingly that it is wrong entry. Then also auditor is doing this entry, or you can say, or not auditor, that company's man is doing this entry after knowing that this kind of entry should not be done in the books of account. Then also they are doing this entry. So it is made intentionally. So the false representation or entry made intentionally or without belief in its truth to defraud somebody. Without belief in its truth to defraud somebody. In simple terms, we can know that what kind of fraud is this. That fraud is a type of an error made with full knowingly with a view to cheat others. मतलब कोई भी ऐसी गलती, कोई भी ऐसी मिस्टेक्स जो कि कंपनी में की जाती है जानबूझ के, इस उद्देश्य से कि इससे हम इन लोगों को चीट करेंगे, कंपनी वालों को चीट करेंगे, तो वो एक तरह वो गलती, इट्स नॉट अ काइंड ऑफ अ मिस्टेक, इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ अ फ्रॉड. So this kind of things should be asked in the examination as far as the long answer question as well as the short answer question has been concerned. Now, here only we can determine that who is the good auditor. So a person who has came to do an audit is definitely for sure he is an auditor. So if he catches the frauds or if he catches the slight frauds made in the books of account, then he is said to be a good auditor of the company. Now we are moving towards the classifications of fraud. Fraud can be, one thing is very important to be known, that if auditor not points any fraud, if an auditor doesn't point out frauds, then if shareholders points that fraud by which the shareholder suffers losses, then they can go to the court against that auditor. If an auditor doesn't find any kind of fraud and due to the fraud made in the company the shareholder suffers a kind of a loss, then shareholder can file a petition against the auditor in the court. So these things should be taken care of while auditing by an auditor. Next we are moving towards the classifications of fraud. Under this, the first classification is misappropriation without the consent of owner. Under this, first is misappropriation or embezzlement of cash. If we do not record our transactions in the books of account and that particular money, if I take it for my personal use, is a kind of a fraud. It can be by recording less amount. It can be done by recording the fictitious payment of cash, by making the payment to workers, and suppose that no entry is made for a bad debt recovered and etc. and all. So this is a kind of a misappropriation or embezzlement of cash. Next is misappropriations of assets. When the assets are purchased for an institution but are used by the top authorities for their personal use, for their residence, and old furnitures and assets are transferred to the institutions. So this is a kind of a fraud which comes under misappropriations of assets. Next is misappropriations of labor. Engagement of official peons for domestic use. Engagement of official peons for domestic use is a kind of a misappropriations of labor. Like laborers employed for the office building constructions are used for the constructions of private houses. Wages employed for the domestic purpose are paid from office. So these things should be considered as misappropriations of labor. Next is misappropriations of amenities. Some amenities are there which are provided only to the specified employees, like facility of car, facility of telephone, peon, watchman, etc. but sometimes they used these luxurious things for their personal use, or sometimes these amenities are availed by those employees for whom no provisions are made for it. So these kind of things should be considered as misappropriation of amenities and treated as fraud. Next is misappropriations of goods. Under this, there are four things which needs to be taken care of. First is stealing goods from the godown and adjusting the record is a kind of misappropriations of good. Second, not recording the purchase of goods anywhere. Third, use of stationery for personal use purchased by the organization. And at last, we can say that sales return not recorded or recorded with the less amount is a kind of a misappropriations of goods. Next comes misappropriation with the consent of owner. Here the problem begins because these things are without the consent of owner, and next comes with the consent of owner. Means fraud are also be made with by taking the consent of owner also. Let's see what types of fraud is being there. Object to show more profit. Sometimes with the consent of the owner, we can twist the books of account to show that the company's profit is very high and its efficiency is increased, but in actual it is not like that. It is just done to build up the image of the company in front of the society, in front of the shareholders, that the company is earning more profit, so they could invest their you can say their usual money in the company so that their capital could increase. So these things can be done with the consent of owner. Next is objects to show less profit than actual profit. If the company shows large amount of profit, if the company shows large amount of profit, then they have to pay very much dividend, high bonus, high wages. So that's why they show less profit. It is practiced only with the consent of owner. So these 2 points should be taken into consideration as far as the misappropriation with the consent of the owner is being concerned. Next is, can an auditor prevent errors and fraud? Can an auditor prevent error and fraud? See, the possibility of errors and frauds is certainly reduced, not removed. You can listen is again. The possibility of errors and frauds is certainly reduced, मतलब कम हो सकता है, but not removed, हट नहीं सकता. So under this, the first is moral effect of audit. Moral effect of audit. There is a good effect of audit on working culture of the company. If the auditing is been taking place, then there will be the good effect of the company. There it shows the good culture of the company in front of the society. So they know it. They are indulged in doing the frauds. Today or tomorrow, it will be detected by an auditor, which may go against the employees, and as a result, they try to be honest. So this is the moral effect of an audit. Second is valuable advices given by the auditor. During the auditing, an auditor can check internal control system of organization. Internal control system of an organization. Listen carefully, because internal control system holds the full control of the organization. So during the auditing, an auditor can check internal control system of organizations. Weakness are detected and conveyed by him to the owner and provide precious suggestions. So by adapting internal control system, chances of errors and fraud can be minimized. So these things should be taken into consideration as far as the frauds and the classifications of fraud is being concerned. Thank you for listening me. Do subscribe my channel Manish Kumar on more important topics to get all important lectures regarding BCom, and comment your doubts if having in the comment section of this video. Thank you.